The man discovered with horror that the salt blocks in the box had instantly transformed into gold. Yet instead of joy, his face showed only despair. It turned out their kingdom had fallen under a terrible curse. Any salt that came into contact with air would immediately turn to gold. At first, the king was ecstatic, lost in dreams of newfound wealth, but his elation quickly turned to desperation when the royal chef could no longer find salt and was forced to substitute sugar in all the cooking. Everyone in the kingdom had to choke down barely edible meals every day. Soon, widespread protests erupted throughout the realm. The desperate king had no choice but to spend enormous sums purchasing salt from neighboring countries. However, something terrifying happened. The moment any imported salt crossed the border, it too fell under the curse's influence and instantly turned to gold. Before long, the entire kingdom descended into chaos. Nobles began fleeing to other countries with their possessions, but they all underestimated the curse's power. The expensive jewelry they had bought with their gold would instantly turn back into salt blocks the moment they left the kingdom's borders. Just then, a band of robbers appeared to attack them. The soldiers drew their swords to fight back, only to watch in horror as their weapons crumbled to dust in the next second. Yet this terrifying curse had originated from nothing more than the king's single mistake. A month earlier, the king had decided to choose the most filial princess to inherit his throne. The eldest princess, who loved gold, immediately lied to please her father, claiming she loved him more than gold itself. Seeing this, the second princess, who adored expensive jewelry, declared that her father was more precious to her than any jewel. But then something unexpected happened. The simple third princess stated that the king was as indispensable as salt. The king flew into a rage upon hearing this. Believing that salt was far too cheap and common to be worthy of his noble status, he immediately moved to strip her of her royal title and reduce her to a commoner. Just as he was about to act, a wizard appeared out of thin air, and then the terrible events began to unfold.